Hello, my name is Carly Watson. I'm going to be doing my presentation over Shigella Dysenteriae. So that's a picture of it right there. The coloration's a little bit off. So this is another close-up picture of it. If you'll notice, it's non-motile. It doesn't have any flagella or anything on it. It's just a normal rod bacteria. So I have it written here. There's more pictures of it in the background. Shigella is very infectious. It's a germ that causes infection, and it's the most deadly species of Shigella is Shigella Dysenteriae. So this is the structure of the Shigella. It's gram-negative, so that's why it's showing up pink. It's non-motile. It creates toxins to cause tissue damage, so this type of non-motile gram bacteria, it's not going to be traveling to other parts of the body like one with the flagella would have, but instead it's going to create toxins, so when the cells begin to lysis, it's going to cause tissue damage. For this disease, it's going to cause tissue damage in the lower digestive tract. It does not produce any spores, and it's part of the normal flora in humans. It's part of the digestive tract near the very end, but it becomes an issue once you defecate and you don't wash your hands, and then it becomes a fecal oral transmission. We don't want it in our upper digestive tract. So this is the disease pathology. This is the effects of somebody who has it. It's going to give you very severe abdominal pain. Another one I didn't put on here is fever if left untreated for a while. It's going to give you diarrhea, bloody stool, mucus in the stool, malnutrition and dehydration. So malnutrition and dehydration are especially bad in children. They don't have very much fluid in their body to begin with. So once they start having diarrhea, it's just going to make the case even worse. Malnutrition is because the digestive system near the intestines is where you're going to be having the water reabsorb and the protein reabsorb back into the body. Well, if you're having diarrhea, then you're not going to be absorbing those proteins like you should be. So these are the people that are high at risk. If you're in a place that doesn't have waste disposal, we're very lucky and blessed to be living in the United States where we're not drinking out of the same water where the waste is going. Children are a lot more likely to die if they get Shigella Dysenteriae because, like I said earlier, if you're in a rural area without hospitals nearby and you're already not receiving medical treatment and you're not vaccinated, it's going to be kind of harder to fight off this disease. People who are already ill, just the high-risk people in general, if you have HIV and you already have that weakened immune system, this is going to be a lot worse for you. Or if you have, like if you're in the late stage HIV, if you have AIDS, it's going to be a lot more risky for you to have versus a healthy adult. So this is just a picture of the recent outbreaks. I mean, not really recent, it's like from like the 70s and 80s, but it's basically just places that they weren't properly like disposing of their waste and doing the same things that we do here that we take for granted. So disease management, the number one thing to prevent fecal oral transmission is to make sure you wash your hands and also keep your food clean, like keep your food properly stored and make sure you wash your hands before cooking as well. If you have a baby, make sure you always wash your hands after changing the diaper and make sure you properly dispose of the diaper. Also, the infected do not need to be in the kitchen at all. They need to make sure that they dispose of their waste and wash their hands always. They need to, if you already are infected with this disease, then you need to make sure you drink plenty of electrolytes to keep you hydrated. And then I have some pictures over here of just proper hand washing technique, a clean environment where cooking's happening. You probably shouldn't be wearing any jewelry, and then also waste management, like we're not having our waste go into our drinking water. So the pharmacological impact, this is a superbug right here. So Shigella, overall, not this particular strand, but it's becoming a superbug. just the genus in general. Shigella that we're talking about is Shigella Dysenteriae is not yet that bad. We can treat this one with azithromycin, which most strains of Shigella are resistant to drugs. But this is the most severe type of Shigella, so it's good that it's not resistant to azithromycin. So this is like more of the pharmacy. It's used for ear, skin, and STD infections, and how it works is it stops the growth of bacteria. It also stops protein synthesis, and it's usually not used for this type of thing, but it's a broad spectrum one. So my prevention plan is in those areas where, kind of like when COVID happened, like we had to have PSAs about, making sure you're washing your hands. We just need to educate the public on, make sure you're keeping proper safety precautions and hygiene precautions. For infants, it's safer if you're in an area where there's a outbreak like this to breastfeed infants, because the mother filters that, and then you're not giving the water that's infected directly to the baby and mixing it up with formula. Also provide healthy fluid and healthy food to those infected, so that will help them feel better and also hopefully stop their diarrhea and stop the spread. Have a clean water source, so in those areas where the water's not clean, we need to work on making that better. And then properly store raw food. I have an example right here of just food safety. Don't leave food out on the counter for too long that needs to be refrigerated. Make sure you're washing your fruits and vegetables, washing your hands before eating and cooking for others, and of course after going to the restroom. So part of my conclusion is, because this isn't really a big thing in America, it's if you're traveling to another country, it's even more risky for you to acquire that because we're not used to getting exposed to the same bacteria. Also, avoid ice and non-bottled water to traveling to those places without the same water systems as us. But with proper education and precautions, this disease spread can be slowed down. And then another conclusion, overall, this one's treatable. It's not completely immune to antibiotics. It's fecal orally transmitted, and we're still working on other ways to help cure this.